Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I will now call the Winton Woods regular board meeting to order. It is 6:30 p.m. Monday, April 24th, 2017. If everyone could please silence all of their electronic devices, that would be greatly appreciated. And then please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. First item on our agenda tonight is our district... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, roll call. Look, that's the second time I tried to go straight into honoring our folks. Sorry, guys. Mr. Seymour, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Present.
Mr. Birdie?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Present.
Mrs. Miranda?
Present. All right, and now we'll move on to the funnest part of the night, which is our district honors, recognitions, gifts, and introductions. Mr.
you.
Superintendent, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President and Board. I'd like to call the, is there a Kiwanis representative here tonight? Before we start, would you say a little bit about why you do what you do?
Oh, sure. I'm Ann Akeson, and I'm president of the Green Hills Forest Park Kiwanis. We've been a community service club in the area for 70, almost 70 years, since 1954. Our club is very interested in helping the children and the families of our communities. We love to do this. We honor students who win the Character Award. We give scholarships. We are on course to give $10,000 in scholarships to probably 5 different students that live in our area. We do an annual safety fair that is coming up that works to teach kids and their parents about home and playground safety. We give every third grader in our school district gets a copy of a book, their very own book, every year.
Fantastic.
Stella Luna, and they love that book.
So we've been having the Kiwanis Club come for several years, but I wanted you guys to get a chance to hear some of the exciting things that they do. They don't just give out awards, they support our district in a very, very meaningful way. So thank you. All right, stage put. Okay. All right, is Layla Hatter here? Yes, come up. Stand right here. So I'm going to read a little bit about you. Is that okay? Somebody wrote some great stuff about you. You ready? Okay. So this is from Mr. Hargrove. By definition, integrity fits Layla Hatter's character. Over the past school year, I've had the opportunity to teach a student that is smart, talented, and very selfless. Layla's thought process with anything I put in front of her is nothing less than exceptional. She works hard for everything she has accomplished so far and what she will accomplish in the future. Layla is kind, loving, selfless, and patient. This is why she was selected for this award. Anything that I ask her to do, whether she wants to do it or not, she does without any arguments or questions. She gets the job done when I ask her, whether it's completing an assignment or showing another student how to complete an assignment. Sometimes she corrects me when I mess up, and we both laugh about the mistake I make or she makes. Layla has done a great job this year, and the choices she has made throughout the year by not allowing other classmates or anything else to distract her from her success. This is why she deserves this award. Layla, you will go far in life. Keep what your family has instilled in you. Keep growing. Keep being the wonderful, smart, talented, and selfless person you are, and your rewards will be endless, Mr. Hargrove. Layla is the key awards for integrity through the Kiwanis Club. Thank you very much.
There's actually an award. And on the back is a gift card for Barnes & Noble. It's one of my favorite stores, so I hope you go find something great there.
Absolutely.
And I know you have to have your picture taken. Just come stand.
Family?
Mom and Dad, would you like to come up for the picture? Come join us.
Is that your little brother or big brother?
Big brother.
All right, big brother, come on up here.
All right, come on back this way. Can you stand there? So we're going to get your face this way.
Big brother, I want to make sure that you people know. So I want you to hug your little sister on this.
I'm in the picture. Yeah.
It's a family show. Layla, I want you to hang that special endorsement, that special certificate in your brother's room, okay? So you can remember. All right. Sakira Williams. Not here. Oh, we'll save it because she may come in. All right. I met these people years ago when we were trying to figure out how to retool our baseball field. And they made a connection with the Reds and made it happen. I think we won more games that year than any other year because the field was leveled and fantastic. But I'd like to honor the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month award, not just to Jack, but to his whole family. So Jack Schramm, come on up. So Jack is a senior. How's it feel?
Feels good.
Can't wait to get out?
Yeah.
All right. Winwood Senior Jack Schramm is a member of the high school's baseball and soccer teams, has been named the District Skyline Student Athlete of the Month for April. Schramm maintains a 3.38 and will be attending the University of Cincinnati in the fall. This year, two things have stood out about Jack on the baseball field, said his coach, Mark Adea. First, he is enjoying the game of baseball, and it has led to success on the field. He has also been a team player. I've not heard Jack complain about where he is on the field or in the batting order, and he's willing to help the team out in any way that he can. So far this season, Schramm leads the team in times on base and a hitting average of .937. How many home runs? 0?
Close.
All right, close. All right, good enough. In just the past 3 games, he went 6 for 11 with 4 doubles. That's pretty impressive. So you learned baseball from Dad?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. In 5 innings pitched against Finneytown, he struck out 8 batters. To be nominated for the Skyline Student Athlete of the Month, students must maintain an academic standard of 3.0 or higher, show respect for coaches, teammates, officials, teachers, and other students and family, show enthusiasm and a positive attitude, display commitment to practice games and personal skill development, demonstrate honesty and playing by the rules, have high moral character. The Skyline Student Athlete of the Month award is sponsored by the Forest Park Skyline, a business partner of Winton Woods City Schools. Student athletes honored receive a $20 Skyline gift card. Thank you, Jack. So we couldn't have great athletes and great students without great teachers. So I'd like to honor the next recipient, and this is Mrs. Marissa Giglio? Giglio, all right. Miss Jordan told me 10 times and I still got it wrong. Okay. Marissa?
That's it, yep.
I got it?
You got it.
Okay, all right. So, first grade teacher, Winton Woods Primary South. You like first graders?
I love first graders.
Right. As a member of our New Tech Preview team, Ms. Giglio incorporates high levels of technology in her academic experience with students, says Winton Woods Primary South Principal Danielle Wallace. Giglio was chosen as the District Skyline Teacher of the Month for April. This year, Giglio's students have learned to use a wide range of educational apps and have presented and represented in their classrooms a very complete, robust problem-solving learning experiences. They studied the cultures represented in their classrooms, developed habits in a virtual zoo, and explored Black history heroes. Her classroom culture supports high levels of learning and student ownership that learning, said Wallace, could only be given with the love and care that Ms. Gilio has. On any given day, you will see students actively working in cooperative learning groups, tracking their performance on data walls, and meeting Ms. Gilio for remediation practice at their level and enrichment experiences. Gilio's first graders are given regular opportunities to lead within the small groups, resolve conflict through discussion, and earn class dojos. Before you leave, you got to tell a little bit about the dojo. Okay. These positive behavior points can be used to purchase classroom-based incentives like out of the uniform day, lunch with the teacher, or an opportunity to bring a furry, stuffed friend to school. A real animal?
Stuffed animals.
Okay. All right. Not only is Ms. Gilio an excellent teacher, she also serves as mentor teacher for our Miami University students, a pilot teacher for the New Tech Initiative, and is finishing up her teaching English to speakers of other language endorsements at Xavier University. To be nominated for the Skyline Teacher of the Month, teachers must demonstrate 1. Excellence in the classroom by using instructional practices that support higher academic achievement. 2. Motivation by encouraging and motivating students to surpass their expectations both academically and socially. 3. Leadership by having a positive attitude with students, parents, colleagues, and the community. 4. Creativity and imagination by demonstrating creativity and teaching in a way that inspires students to learn. Dedication by showing excellent attendance, punctuality, and overall dependability. And finally, communication by communicating effectively to their classroom parents, colleagues, and beyond. The Skyline Teacher of the Month Award is presented by the Forest Park Skyline, a business partner of Winton City Schools. Teachers receive a $25. See if you guys are paying attention. $25 Skyline gift card. So thank you very much.
My coworker Jen Cheney got this last year and she wore me, so I was prepared. I was gonna hide it in case you didn't make me say anything, but I will. Okay. I just want to say thank you for this award and recognition. I'm Cincinnati born and raised, so an award sponsored by Skyline really could not be more perfect. I'm just really proud to be part of the Warrior family. When I was going through college, I spent a lot of time observing classrooms in different school buildings, and in working with all of those different teachers in different places, I learned about the importance of having a supportive administrative environment. I could not do what I do day in and day out without having such a supportive principal and such supportive coworkers. I know that they're there to help me be the best that I can be for the kids, and that support makes all the difference in the world. I also just wanted to take a moment to give the glory to God. In 1 Peter 4, verses 10 through 11, the Word of God says, "Each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen." Thanks.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Congratulations, thank you.
Our next award goes to, there are 3 young men that will receive the next award. And I want to read a little bit about their process before I bring them up. As we approach Thursday, May 4th, which is International Firefighters Day, we wanted to make sure to recognize and honor the sacrifices that firefighters and fire chiefs make to ensure their communities are safe and protected. We're amazed at the dedication that is shown through countless hours spent working in the industry or through countless hours volunteered. We appreciate your positive interaction with our students during times like Fire Prevention Week, when you visit our schools or allow students to visit your fire station. These times with our youngest warriors help reinforce the lessons of fire safety. Give them hands-on time with some of your equipment and let them see your men in full firefighting gear. Additionally, your presence at events like Winton Woods Middle School's September 11th Day of Service and Remembrance helps to start conversations and build connections between you, our local heroes, and our 7th and 8th graders. The students, families, and staff of Winton Woods City Schools recognize the significant work that you do in our communities, and we're grateful for your commitment to public safety and service. We thank all three of you for your partnership with our district and are pleased to present you with the April 2017 Community Spirit Award. And so, first on our list, Mr. Chief Alonzo Alfie Jones.
All right, I'll make it quick. No, it's truly a blessing to be in this position, the role that I am in, to serve the public and also to be able to work with the school district. And once again, I appreciate, I thank you, Superintendent, board members, and board president for this evening. And the fire department will continue to work with the youth in the community because we believe the youth is our future. And we definitely need to invest in them entirely. Like I said, I've been truly blessed, and I'll continue those blessings with others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
The next recipient is Fire Chief Tony Spaeth of the Village of Green Hills.
So I got to say something now. It's an honor and privilege to be here. I'm in the fire service 34 years as a volunteer firefighter, 20 as the chief in Green Hills, and I've only been able to do that because I'm surrounded by great people. And it's a team effort, it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and I would not be here without the support of my team and my colleagues that are also here, because we also work collaboratively. And I too want to thank the school district for your partnership with us. Fire Prevention Week is one of our favorite weeks where we get to basically talk to every preschool and elementary student in the district, and it's really, really important. And it's the message that we give sticks with them for a lifetime, and we always try to remember that when we're making that contact. So thank you very much to everybody for your support, and it's an honor to receive this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Our final chief is Mr. Robert Leninger of Springfield Township.
Thank you. First of all, it's an honor and privilege to be here this evening. I want to thank the members of the board. And I accept this award on behalf of the men and women that serve with Springfield Township, as well as all the men and women that serve with the fire departments throughout Hamilton County. As Chief Spaeth said, we are a family, but we're also collaborative, or we also work together collaboratively. If you notice, if there is a fire in your community, you may see multiple vehicles from other jurisdictions. And we have learned that you can't do this by yourself. We're all in this together. We have a sincere love for people, and if you're in need, we're going to come. So it's a privilege to be able to serve you as well as your community as well as the others, and thank you for this honor. Thank you.
I think everybody had a dream and a goal to be something different. And I remember as a young boy, I wanted to be a firefighter, and then I took this job. So there you go. Same deal. Too close. Okay. How many of you have ever heard of our incredible music program at Winton Woods City Schools? We are one of the best. And I would like to call up the members, but before I do that, I'd like to talk a little bit about the National Association of Music Merchants. We have been awarded the for Best Community for Music Education again. And so it's a real honor to have an incredible staff that believes in music, that believe in children, and developing the whole child. So it reads, the Winton Woods Board of Education congratulates the music department on the district's selection as one of the National Association of Music Merchants Foundation 2017 Best Communities for Music Education. Deep gratitude is extended to Mr. Felipe Morales Torres, Ms. Beth Miller, Fine Arts Facilitator, Ms. Carol Baker Young, for facilitating Winton Woods City Schools' selection for this honor. And the district received this award in 2016 as well. And also Miss Ashbrook. If you guys are here, would you guys please come up and take a picture, please? We have something special for him. But you can go up too, Joe. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh.
He's good. All right. Joel, your ears
Okay. So I really didn't do anything but say, hey guys, get the application in. And they did it. So they're the ones that are amazing and great. I'm going to let one of them speak because I have to jump ship for just a minute. It's fine arts, so I'm going to go to art really fast. Wednesday night, we're having our Artist Reaching Classrooms opening down at the public library. And Darian Hassert is going to represent all of the students in the program. He's going to be speaking, and I'm like so excited that he gets to do that. So I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, it was very important to us to make sure that Winton Woods was recognized for the amount of work that the staff has put towards creating a wonderful music program and the support that we get from the community for the parents to come and just trust us with their children and allow us to give the opportunity to bring music into their lives. So, yeah, I don't have much to say. But yeah, and the support of the district. I mean, this district is an amazing support for the arts, and we really appreciate that. Thank you.
I want this team to stay up where I read a little bit about Mr. Watley. Joe, you want your team to stay up here?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, the varsity ensemble qualifying for state competition. Winton Woods High School, Mr. Joe Whately, choir director, and Miss Beth Miller, associate choir director. This, folks, is absolutely impressive. The Winton Woods Board of Education extends its personal congratulations to Mr. Whately and Miss Miller for their leadership in continuing the legacy of varsity ensemble qualifying for Ohio Music Education, OEMA, state-level competition on March 10th. The Winton Woods Varsity Ensemble, the high school's premier choir, is in its 45th straight year of receiving 45 years of receiving an overall superior rating at the district level. On March 10th, the varsity ensemble received all superiors, the highest score possible.
And we have some more news to share with you. Not only did Varsity Ensemble qualify for state contest, but also the Women's Chorale that's directed by Mrs. Miller and myself. And not only that, this past weekend we went to state contest, and as you can see, we're both holding the superior rated plaques. They both received a 1 at state as well. So at state, there's some further scrutiny. The judges are much tougher. The sight reading is much tougher. Everything just kind of bumps up a level. You have to learn a new song. So over the past 4 weeks or so, not only have they been learning music to go out to do with extra concerts with our partnership with the Fusion Ensemble, but they also been learning the new music for contest as well. So, and we possibly cannot do this without Mrs. Miller. Mrs. Miller is a huge part of the choral program, and I'm blessed to have her and the support of the rest of the music staff up here. So thank you for the district support. Thank you for the team support. Thank you, everybody. We can't do it without you.
I know this is not on our agenda, but would you guys mind if I just sung a song?
Yes.
All right, very good. Just want to make sure. Thank you, Mr. Seymour. Thank you for the confidence, sir. I appreciate you.
We'll see you in December. I was going to.
All right, man, this is a job. Special recognition. Is Mr. Felipe, is he here?
Unfortunately,
All right.
he's over at the musical crew conducting the pit right now.
So, Mr. Felipe Torres, Orchestra Director, the Winton Woods Board of Education commends Mr. Morales Torres on his selection as the clinician for the 2017 Ohio Music Educators Association Conference, which took place in Cleveland, Ohio, January 31st to February 4th. He was selected as one of the clinicians, and that is an incredible, incredible honor. So when you see Mr. Felipe Morales Torres, please give him a hug or a pat on the back. All right. Our next music icon. We have been part of Cincinnati since the beginning, but I don't know if we'd ever been in the opening day parade. Okay. And I figured by talking to, where's Mrs. Denny? Is she here?
She's not in here, right?
Okay, she was the one to do all the paperwork, do all the legwork to get us in the opening day parade. And I said, if we get in the opening day parade, we'll be in first place, the Reds. So we're in first place. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I didn't say the whole year. I said we'll be in first place. Okay. So we managed to do that, right?
That's why.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing that made it so incredible. Miss Ashbrook rallied the troops and got all the kids together, and we had an incredible showing in Cincinnati for the opening day parade. First time ever?
Yes.
And we were absolutely incredible. This is what made it so exciting. That was actually a day off for children. Students didn't have to attend school because of professional development, and the entire band showed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only just a couple were still out of town, but we had about 125 still.
That's an incredible showing. So I was actually down at the event, and when the band was marching through the streets, people were saying, "Who is that band?" And I said, "That's my band." And this is Winton City Schools, and you guys did an incredible job. We were very, very proud of you, and they want us to come back and to do it again next year. So thank you very much, Ms. Ashbrook.
Thank you.
So a little bit.
The only thing, it was very scary because it was the last day of spring break, and there were some contest was very close before that. But actually, when it was all said and done, it was a fantastic parade. It was the most attended parade we've ever marched. I mean, it's just wall to wall, hundreds of thousands of people, and the kids just stepped up and did fantastic. They played their hearts out, their lips off their face, and marched really, really well. And even they were really excited that they got the chance to do it. So they were happy.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank
Okay.
you.
A day off,
Yep.
no school, and
Last
the
day
kids
of
showed
spring
up.
break.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your cover fell off.
Oh, the glass. Oh, my glass. Teresa,
Can we do one more picture with all the plaques and everything? Yeah.
We'll do a group one.
If you have two hands, there you go. Oh, you need three hands. You got it? Yeah. Okay.
Anybody in the audience ever heard of ICRON? Of course, Doc, yes. It stands for Integration of Knowledge and Resources for Occupational Needs. We actually have a person who was honored as one of the recipients, and I'd like to have Ms. Kim Goins come up. Ms. Kim Goins, counselor, congratulations to Ms. Goins, who was chosen this year as a recipient of the Greater Cincinnati School Counselor Recognition Award, which is sponsored by Career Quest, a division of ICRON's Youth Services, and the counseling offices of Cincinnati State, Northern Kentucky University, University of Cincinnati, and Xavier University. She was presented with the award by representatives from ICRON in a surprise ceremony on February 23rd. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. And as Mr. Smith said, it was a surprise. So I had no speech prepared, and my husband told me, he goes, you need to make sure that you make a speech, you write a speech. So I have a little bit of something to say. It has truly been an honor to receive the Career Quest Excellent School Counselors Award. It has also been an honor to receive the recognition from our district. I've been fortunate to work with great teachers, with great school counselors such as the one at the middle school, Kim Sturworth, as well as my awesome team at the high school, John Beischel, who did nominate me, Christina Jaranek, and Brad Tash. But most of all, it's been an honor to work with our students. I'd like to thank this district for hiring me to work with our students. I've learned from them every day about their cultures and about their experiences. And through my encounters with them that I learned how to base my counseling on their various backgrounds. So their stories and their needs and their hopes inspire me to serve them as best as I can. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Congratulations again to all of our wonderful students and staff and community members. We will now take a 5-minute recess. All right, we are now back in session. And board colleagues, we will move on to item number 5 on our agenda as we have no public comments. And number 5 is to approve the minutes as presented. Unless you see any necessary changes, a motion would be in order to approve those minutes as attached.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that roll?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we will move into item number 6, the treasurer's report. Mr. Seymour, you have the floor.
Okay, as you may have noticed, Mr. Birdie did, that on the financial reports, we had an incorrect month on the financial summary. It has been updated. My loyal assistant got a copy of the email, came in this evening, fixed that heading, and uploaded it for you.
Wow.
So if I could digress for a minute, this will be Mrs. O'Connor's last time to attend a board meeting. Mrs. O'Connor has decided to retire, cut off my right arm, and that just shows you the dedication which I've been used to over the last several years. So I just wanted to make that comment. The financial reports for the year-to-date of the Treasurer's Report in the General Fund, we had year-to-date revenues of $41.7 million and $3 million for the month, and most of that was state foundation and some real estate tax advances. Our year-to-date expenditures in the General Fund are right at $36.5 million, and we are running currently 6% under budget, or approximately 3.2, and if you recall from the revised 5-year forecast, we are projecting approximately 3.6 by year end. So we would still have another quarter to go, and we'll see how that holds up. Under the for all funds, we had 86 million in our of all funds, 21 million, which was the general fund, and of course 61.5 million in our building construction funds. So
Thank you, Mr.
basically
Seymour.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the financial statements as presented.
Actually, I don't think we need a motion.
Just-
We're just going to
Oh,
submit this to
audit.
audit. Before I do, I would like to say thank you, Mr. Bernie, for that catch.
Excuse me.
Good eye. And Ms. O'Connor, thank you so very much for all your years of service. We greatly appreciate everything you've done and for being Randy's right arm. Don't know how he's going to do it without you, but hopefully we'll find someone suitable. Okay, so with no objections being heard, did anyone have any questions for Mr. Seymour? Okay, we'll let the financial statement for the month of March 2017 be submitted to audit, and then we'll move into the investments. Mr. Seymour?
Unusual incident on the investment report. You will see that for the month we had negative interest earnings. The reason for this is we invested a large sum of funds into our bond portfolio, and some of those items were bought at a premium, and on the cash basis of reporting your cost portfolio, we have to report that as reduced interest until it matures and we post it as interest. All those funds will come back, but it's hard for people to understand how you have negative interest. But in this time in the market right now, when you're buying high safety instruments, you pay a premium, which is also an advantage to this Board of Education tomorrow. In a climate like this, tomorrow your bonds will go on sale, and you like this current climate because you do want your bonds to sell at a premium. So if the district should buy some of those bonds as an investment, we would have negative interest right off the start. And while we're on that topic, if I could just digress for a minute, we did get our ratings from Moody's and Standard & Poor's. And from our overall ratings from Moody's was A1, and from Standard & Poor's AA minus, which puts you in a middle high grade position for tomorrow's sale of the bonds. We also had a higher level by being backed by the Ohio State of Ohio's when we filed for their rating to be as a safeguard. So I don't know if you have any questions on that, but that will help tomorrow sell our bonds at a better premium so that we can cover all of our expenses and hopefully have a surplus and not eat into any principal on the sale of the bonds.
Fantastic.
So I don't know if you have any questions on the investment report, but
If we could get the motion on the floor first, and then we'll go into questions and discussion.
I'll go ahead and type this time. I would like to make a motion to approve the investments reported as presented.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any questions for Mr. Seymour or discussion? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
sure. Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And back to you, Mr. Seymour, for 7.02.
We are now asking you to accept the amounts and rates from the County Auditor of Hamilton County. You will see that on there they have our bond retirement for our bond issue at 6.95. And I would also like to point out that our emergency levy now will be collecting at 9.78 mils in order to generate this 4.2 million. But what we're doing here is asking the board to approve the levies and the amounts as stated by the Hamilton County Auditor.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour.
I'd
Board
like to
motion.
make a
Thank you,
motion
Mr.
to
Birdie.
approve the resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggless?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Now we turn back to you, Mr. Superintendent, for 8.01.
Yes, Madam President and Board, I'd like to focus on two major issues. One is on April 28th, this is for all schools, there's a fourth quarter interim report. And one of the reasons we were so focused on making sure this report is accurate, we wanted parents to realize that fourth quarter, some students tend to slow down instead of speed up. And we know that they have 5 weeks after this to get their grades together. So we wanted parents to remember to look into Progress Book and Echo to make sure your children finish very, very strong. In the past, students would go through a 10-week cycle and parents would say, wait a minute, my child is self-destructed and I didn't know what was happening. So on our calendar and in our regular reports, there's a midterm where you can catch kids before it gets too bad. So this is an opportunity to help move the progress forward. And then the other two events that I'd like to mention, we're trying to make sure that our National Honor Society is transitional, means it goes through every grade band in all schools. So there is a very important meeting at the ES on May 1st and the 15th for the National Honor Society, and there's also a very important meeting for the National Elementary Honor Society at 3 to 4 on May 18th. So keep these very important dates on hand for any parent who may be watching. The midterm is April 28th. It will be coming home. Make sure you work with your children. If they're doing well, continue to encourage them. If they're not, there's 5 weeks left in that quarter to finish strong. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. You can just go ahead and keep the floor for 9.01.
9.01. There is the recommendations to approve the personnel schedules as presented. Before I bring the schedules to the board for approval, I'd like to recognize a new hire who is actually here with us tonight, Brandy Miller. Brandy Miller, we've been trying to get her to come to Winton Woods for several years, and she's been fighting us, and so we finally won the battle. And she is actually going to be a math teacher, but she will have a master's in the content. That means something very, very important to the district, because that means we can possibly teach college credit plus courses on our campus. So we are very, very excited that we were able to get Miss Miller to come. She is a current teacher in another district. So when I see that superintendent, I'm sure I won't sit next to her at the next superintendent meeting, because this could be pretty interesting. So, Ms. Miller, will you want to come up and say a few words, please?
I'm actually a 1996 grad from Winton Woods, so I am excited to be coming home.
We always get them back.
It was actually my first interview 17 years ago, coming out of Miami, Oxford, and it was Mr. Day, who was my principal at the time. And the higher start rate at Cincinnati Public Schools was a lot higher. So when you're a brand new teacher, you're looking at 26 versus 34. You know, it's like.
So you took the money?
Yeah, I took the money.
Okay.
But I am very happy to be back, and I'm very excited about
That's a good
working
point.
at
She
home.
is a math teacher.
So thank you guys for welcoming me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, she did do the math.
So the recommendations to approve: Schedule A, resignations and retirements; Schedule B, certificated staff; Schedule C, support staff; Schedule D, extra duty and supplemental employment; and finally, Schedule E, leaves.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel schedules as presented.
I'll second that.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye, motion passes unanimously. Thank you for being here, Ms. Miller. We appreciate your attendance tonight. And Superintendent will move into 9.02.
Yes, Madam President and Board, the recommendations to approve the proposal for overnight extended student trip to Camp Joy in Clarksville, Ohio, May the 3rd through the 5th. And I want to read a little bit about how this program is, how this trip is an educational program. Students will learn about nature, animals, earth science, self-help skills, physics, and history of the pioneer times, which is aligned directly to the extended standards of the Ohio core curriculum that is taught to all students in the Multiple Disabilities Program. The trip is also related to the district's new tech and project-based learning goals. The trip will help students to investigate and build knowledge for nature and the world, science, team building, working with others, creativity, and self-help skills. The students will take personal challenges as well as group initiatives in a very inclusive environment. So I wanted the board and I wanted people out there to realize that, you know, even though we have students who have multiple handicaps, it's still very important for them to get out into the nature, enjoy it, appreciate it, and understand it. So this is a trip for students with multiple disabilities.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the 2017 summer school, to approve the proposal for the overnight extended student trip, Winton Woods High School Camp Joy, Clarksville, Ohio, May 3rd through the 5th, 2017, as presented.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And Superintendent 9.03.
Yes, Madam President and Board, the summer school offerings are here and we are excited. I will list them just as an overview. First, we have the third grade reading guarantee session, and this is a session that will prepare our students to be able to make the necessary scores in order to move to the next grade. All right. The next one is English as a second language. As you know, our language issues are becoming very prevalent in our district, which means that we have to make sure that our kids are prepared and focused about English as a second language.
Opportunities.
The third one is Science Summer Camp, and this camp will feature STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And this year's theme is rockets. The next one is middle school grade recovery. Some students have fallen short, so this gives them the opportunity to make sure they reach high school with their peers. The next one is high school algebra. Most of you know that this is one of the courses that's failed more often across the country, not just Winton Woods City Schools. Dr. Ragland and her team have worked very, very diligently to create a robust high school algebra course. And this is designed for 9th grade students only. And then the next one is OGT preparation. We still have students under that guideline. The state requires 10 hours of instruction before they can have the next opportunity to take the test. And the final one is high school credit recovery. This is for students who may be credit deficient, and hopefully they will be able to make up the necessary credits so they could be still be a summer graduate for the year 2017. So the recommendations to approve the 2017 summer school offerings as presented.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2017 summer school offerings as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And we'll move into 9.04.
Dr. Ragland? So this is the adoption of our math investigations, and our math specialist would just give you an overview of what this is going to look like for our student population for the fall.
So Investigations 3 in Number and Space is published by Pearson. It's for kindergarten through grade 5. Teaching and Learning is requesting the adoption of this iteration. We have previously purchased the second iteration, so this is not new for us. This iteration has been adapted and updated to accommodate the new standards. And it's going to allow for teachers to provide deeper learning experiences to our students. It does align itself very well to our problem-based learning through the New Tech Network experience that we provide. It's an inquiry-based curriculum. And what it does is it helps to build fluency within our students. The state of Ohio defines fluency as being accurate, flexible, as well as efficient. It will give our students a plethora of problem-solving tools. So no matter what problem they encounter, they have a tool, a strategy in order to help them to better solve those problems.
Very good. Questions?
I do have a question for you.
Sure.
I know that math investigations has been adopted for some time now. Can you share any data that lets us know that this curriculum, I know a lot has been put into our math curriculum. So can you share with us a little bit more about the data?
Last year's kindergartners, according to our MAP results, showed that we had 31% of our students at the norm mean RIT. That same group of students now at the first grade are 51%. So we've seen a 20% increase from last year to this year.
Very good.
Same with first to second grade and also third to fourth grade. So we are making gains.
One of the pieces that Dr. Ragland brought to the table when we hired her, we wanted to make sure that not only were we adopting a series or adopting a program, we were also doing it with integrity, meaning that you do the full gamut. You don't just take out the bits and pieces that seem to work and use those as glorified moments. It has to be from beginning to end. And I think between what she does with teaching and learning as it relates to math and science and what Dr. Holden does with literacy, I think we're really on a breakthrough to make sure that our kids have more consistent educational opportunities than we had before.
I think you answered my second question, which was what do you think is attributed to what we've seen in the past and where we are now to that gain? But I think Mr. Smith answered that, but if you have anything else you want to add to.
Well, I think that we have a coherent, focused curriculum and we have a plan. We have excellent coaches who are in those grade levels and who are working hard with our teachers to make those gains. So our teachers have support, and it's job embedded professional development, and that's what they need. They need somebody in there day in and day out to work with them.
Very good.
It's good to hear.
Will this program also enhance as far as the definitions of math terms? That's one of the things I was looking at is some of the terminology and the instruction, like by the time you're in middle school and high school, to know what the math terms are, the definitions. Does that start at the younger grades, or when do you find that?
Absolutely. So our teachers are expected to teach academic vocabulary at every grade level.
Well, I know they're expected. I'm just wondering what are the techniques. Do you find it to be more helpful with this to get that the definitions down?
Well, I think that those are literacy strategies that we can use not just for teaching reading, but also we can use them for math. And if you look at our math framework, we do have literacy strategies that we use to help our teachers.
In the past, Ms. Kuhn, I think educators tried to teach concepts in isolation, but these concepts go together.
Right. That's
so
what I was
that's
hoping
where
that-
Dr. Ragland mentioned the integration of courses.
Well, that's what I was hoping to see, to
And
cross
so,
over.
So we use concept maps, graphic organizers to try to tie it all together.
Very good.
So that the kids understand it, yeah. Okay.
Dr. Ragland, you mentioned this, and I don't know whether you can expound any more on this, how this program gives a coherent, focused curriculum and a plan. Is this in line with the framework that you already put together? You presented it to us before, the framework for math, but this is in line with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As well as PRBO.
Right. It's all still keeping all that in mind. Okay.
I have one last question. So is this equivalent to like when you have Windows 1.0 and you go to Windows 2.0? So it's the third Investigations 3. Is this just the updates and enhancements?
Yes, and it's aligned to our new standards. Now, our math standards have gone through a third revision, and so we will be looking at those standards now, but my personal opinion, professional opinion, is that those standards have not changed. So, not in any detail that we don't want to adopt this curriculum.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ragland. Any further questions, or any board colleague would just prefer to put the motion on the floor?
Yeah, we kind of did that out of order, but
It's
that's okay. I'll make the motion. Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the math investigations grades K through 5 adoption as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further questions or discussion at this time?
No, but that's okay.
Okay, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And we'll move into 9.05.
Yes, Dr. Ragland will give you a quick overview of the integration of the art and geometry course. This is exciting because, you know, a lot of what people do is they teach in isolation. Putting art and geometry, we're expecting this to be a very robust course. So, Doc, can you give us just your overview?
So we have a new course before you called the Art of Geometry. Art and geometry pair very well because A lot of those definitions that you were talking about in lower grades, we have a lot of those in geometry that apply to art, architecture, graphic design. And so our art teacher, Carol Becky Youngs, and math teacher, Nicole Williford, have come together to create a joint co-taught class. So much in the way that New Tech espouses an English social studies joint taught class, they are coming together voluntarily to do the same thing. It would be our second co-taught class in mathematics.
Can you give the board a little overview of the co-taught class with Mr. Armstead and Coach C, how that one's moving?
Oh, absolutely. So Coach C and Mr. Armstead both teach pre-calculus as well as physics independently. They decided to come together last year, and they teach what we call PCAP, Pre-Calculus Aligned Physics. It is pre-calculus and AP Physics co-taught together. And one of the things that they have noticed is that they have been able to progress through their curriculum faster, and that the students are grasping concepts at a greater depth than the classes that they teach separately, independent of each other. The students are making greater gains in terms of overall grades in the classes, and their level of understanding is enhanced because of the application.
Very good. Thank you.
Should we make a motion or ask a question?
Yeah, make a motion. Then we'll ask questions.
I would like to make a motion to approve the new high school math course, the Art of Geometry, as presented.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion or questions?
I do have one question. How many students do you anticipate taking the class? Will it be one class? And is it a double bell? And
It is a double bell, and it would be one class. Of course, we're looking at a maximum of 25. That's hard to gauge right now. With the PCAP class, we had no idea. They actually had to turn students away. There was only 25 students allowed, and it was just because of schedule conflicts.
And speaking of that, will that present issues with students? There's probably always issues with scheduling, but will that make it more difficult for students to take this class along with other classes that they would like?
I think there's always going to be competition. I mean, students are always going to have choices to make between classes. And so I would say yes, probably, but in a good way.
Will it be in contradiction to maybe a music class or a special? It wouldn't do
No.
that. Okay.
That's the goal, not to.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's very difficult, Ms. Kuhn, to create an opportunity and then take away an opportunity.
That's what I was
So
wondering,
I'm sure Mr. Martin, if he's listening right now, will be as flexible with his master schedule as he can to make it work for children.
I actually have a question regarding both of the adoption of the math investigations and the art of geometry, and also the paired class that Coach C is doing. How are you, or are you tracking the data so that we know, we can look at the students who are in these classes opposed to the students who are not in those classes, and so that we can see if, all of these wonderful things that we're doing, that much like with the math investigations, you said, okay, well, there's a 20% gain. How do we know that these new things that are happening or will be happening will be tracked, so that we can look at the data and see what other opportunities are there. God bless you. What other opportunities are there for further pairing?
I think that, of course, with the lower grades, it's easier because we have MAP. We also have state test data. But with the upper grades, like the PCAP class, that class is not, those students are not tested by MAP because they're juniors or seniors, and we don't test in MAP beyond 10th grade. However, now that we have ACT scores, that could be a possible indicator as well as the students' individual grades, comparing and comparing and contrasting classes.
Okay.
Can I just add, for the art of geometry, that is an end of course, there's an end of course exam
Right.
associated with that.
Exactly.
So that would be a great comparison of those students in the class versus those
Right.
students not in the class.
That's what's gonna, is this a math class? Is it an art class, or how is it?
It's both. They'll
Okay.
get 2 credits, 1 credit for math, 1 credit for art.
And does it satisfy the geometry grade
Yes,
for math?
we're still using the geometry standards to teach.
And for me, do what you do. You know, in the classrooms, that's your profession. But for me, what I would be interested in, just really, how do we know what we know is working? And so,
Right.
if you all have a plan to track that and be able to share that, be good.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll be able to come back to you with a report like Dr. Ragland did for the last one, just to give you the growth data so that you
Right.
can see exactly how it works.
Yeah,
And
that would be
again,
great.
this is not an experiment.
Right.
This is an opportunity. Okay.
One question I have, there's not a textbook, so what's going to be guiding the learning? I mean, what process is going to guide the learning?
So when we teach, we always teach the standards. The
Okay.
standards don't change because we have a textbook,
Or
don't have a
not, right.
textbook. So they're there. So we know what to teach over the course of the year. But we also have electronic products that we use, Math Excel, we purchase for grades 6 through 12. So that is also an option for them to use. And if you look in your document, they do list that.
Right, I
As
see
well
that.
as GeoGebra, which is a free electronic software.
Okay.
So that they can use to create geometric designs online with technology.
Those will be the 2 main
Yes.
resources that they'll use to guide the learning then. Okay.
Along with the standards, yes.
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
Very much.
Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye, motion passes unanimously, and we'll move into 9.06. Thank you, Dr. Ragland.
Mr. Denny?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Good evening, Board. Well, from the absolutely, completely engaging and interesting to the rather not sublime here, it is not quite. But we do have important business, nonetheless, that you should have before you for this agenda item. Recommendation or request to escalate school lunch prices for next year. And this is hopefully the last, although we do sometimes comment that when we catch up, they raise the bar again. However, this should be the last in a series of escalations in lunch price to match the federal reimbursement rate, which was the purpose for doing this. So you should have before you a memo, and toward the bottom is probably the most important part. It shows the current price and the proposed price, should the board approve it, and what the increase represents. And in essence, what we have to do is create a weighted average across all of our students that approaches the required weighted average of $2.85 per lunch across the district. And so that's a national target. We would be at $2.86 per lunch should this be approved by the board. So that's the purpose for it. It's a requirement of participation in the school free lunch program, or federal lunch program, excuse me.
Board, a motion would be in order.
Madam President, I'd like to approve that the 2017-2018 school lunch price increase to be accepted as presented. Bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any questions or discussion?
I do have a question. So as far as the weighted average price, the federal being at 285 and our calculation here gets us a 286. I mean, is there any penalty at some point afterwards if we came in at 284 or?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. We've not tested the waters there.
Okay.
They've set a target that we had to hit, and we've been basically reaching it each year. And the good news and bad news is our lunch price was low. And the federal government actually stepped in and said it's too low because we're reimbursing you, and you're not allowed to create a profit in that sense.
Right, and
So
Great
there are,
Oaks,
yeah.
Great Oaks just went through a similar process at the one board meeting that I've been to so far, and this is
Yes, sir.
pretty close, real close, within pennies of what they were also doing. So
There's a tool they provide that in essence lets you change prices and kind of do a trial and error approach to arrive at meeting the target. And without splitting nickels and things like that, this is as close as we could get to it without being under.
Right.
And yes, we are audited every year. So if we didn't hit the target, there could be repercussions.
Okay.
We try not to get close.
Right. No, I understand. Okay.
It's a great question.
You can't be over, but you can be under? Is that what you're saying?
The other way around.
The other way around.
Yes, ma'am.
You can be over, you can't be under.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be making a profit of 50 cents for every lunch. That can't happen.
No, that's not.
Got it.
Not permitted.
Yeah.
It's not part of the program.
I understand.
Sorry.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Denny.
Thank you.
Now we move into 9.07.
Board, in the past, you would have been looking at 17, 18, but what we've done is we've been moving our calendars 2 years in advance. So you're actually looking at adopting and approving a district calendar for 18, 19. And the recommendation is to approve the district calendar as presented. All the hours have been calculated appropriately. It's been vetted through the Treasurer's Department for pay and for contract issues, and also through teaching and learning to make sure that professional development was also integrated into the process.
Board, a motion would be in order.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2018-19 district calendar as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any questions or discussion?
I would just like to thank Mr. Smith for being proactive and having it so far in advance. It's nothing like that, being proactive as opposed to knee-jerk reaction. So having this for 2018-19 as opposed to looking at just next year, I think is really good. So I
Believe it or
appreciate
not,
that.
Dr. Johnson, it really does help our employees be with the stabilization of their jobs, because they have other events with their children as they're growing into their own senior status. They can look at our calendar just to see when events are happening to make sure they don't miss their own children's events.
Any further questions? Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And Mrs. Kuhn, we will turn to you for 9.08.
It's my pleasure to read the resolution for the National Teacher Appreciation Week, which is May 1st through the 5th. It says, whereas the week of May 1st through the 5th, 2017 is National Teacher Appreciation Week, and whereas public schools have been the gateway to success for every generation of Americans, and whereas a strong, effective system of public school education for all children and youth is essential to our democratic system of government, and whereas public schools are at work shaping the future of a whole new generation of young Americans who will take their places in education, business, industry, and government, and whereas no other profession has so great an opportunity to make a lasting and life-changing impact on the lives of so many, and whereas teachers empower, inform, teach, enlighten, share, enrich, create, motivate, mentor, and touch the minds of those students who they are entrusted with, and whereas it is appropriate for the Winton Woods City School District to pay tribute to the teaching profession as a whole and to recognize teachers for their dedication and for their commitment to the challenge and to educate the youth of our schools and our community. Therefore, it is resolved that the Winton Woods City Schools Board of Education formally designate the week of May 1st through the 5th, 2017 as National Teacher Appreciation Week, adopted this 24th day of April, 2017.
Thank you, Mrs. Kuhn.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution for the National Teacher Appreciation Week on May the 1st through the 5th, 2017, as presented.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And Mrs. Ruggles, we turn to you for 9.09.
Okay. I had the wrong one.
It is also my pleasure to read the resolution for School Nutrition Employee Week, official proclamation. Whereas nutritious meals at school are an essential part of the school day, and whereas the staff of the district schools meals and nutrition department are committed to providing healthful, nutritious meals to the district's children, and whereas the men and women who prepare and serve school meals help nurture our children through their daily interactions and support, and whereas the week of May 1st through the 5th, 2017 is School Nutrition Week, Employee Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Winton Woods City School District expresses its deep appreciation to these valuable employees and commend their good work on behalf of children. Adopted this 24th day of April, 2017.
Madam President, I'd like to approve the resolution for the School Nutrition Employee Week, May the 1st to the 5th, 2017, as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any questions, discussion? I just passed down, if you noticed, my little grammatical error I found in that resolution, so hopefully we can get that fixed before we post it. All right, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And Mr. Birdie, we turn to you for 9.10.
And it is my pleasure to read the resolution for National School Nurse Day, May 10th, 2017. Where it is proper to acknowledge school nurses for their professional contribution to encourage and support a healthy environment and education for our nation's youth and for the students and staff of the Winton Woods City School District. And whereas school nurses provide a vital role to the institution of public education through their unique expertise for managing primary and preventive health care. And whereas school nurses are diligent, motivated, caring professionals who influence and promote a healthy school environment that is safe and conducive to learning, be it therefore resolved this 24th day of April 2017 that the Winton Woods City School District Board of Education hereby recognizes the continued effort, commitment, and resolve of school nurses to make a difference and proclaims May 10th, 2017 as National School Nurse Day in the Winton Woods City School District, adopted this 24th day of April 2017.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the proclamation or the resolution for National School Nurse Day, May the 10th, 2017.
I'll second that.
Been motioned and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you please call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we now move into our Board of Education reports. We will start with the legislative report, and board colleagues, in front of you, you have lots of blue and yellow paper. So we'll start with the blue on top as your issue of the April 2017 OSBA legislative report. I will not read through all of this for you as I have tons of things here in your pile that I wanted to give to you. The next two blue copies are some very interesting articles I found in the Cincinnati Enquirer, two differences in views from two local teachers talking about the governor's proposed budget, in which it includes teachers going out into the workforce and job shadowing those in the business industry. So again, I'll let you read those on your own. They're very interesting. The next item, the yellow one, entitled Music Education Boosts Achievement and Improves Lives. If you turn to the second page of that document, you will notice our orchestra director, Felipe Morales Torres, although they spelled his first name wrong, is mentioned in here for his work that we honored him for this evening in our district honors and recognition, so I wanted you all to have a copy of that. And the rest of these articles are things that I thought were very important and very good reads from our latest OSBA journal. So those are in there for you as well. Any further questions on those after you read through anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. And Mr. Birdie, we will move into your Great Oaks report for 10.02. Your very first one, might I add.
My very first one.
Yes, we're excited.
I did attend the last Great Oaks board meeting, I believe it was April 12th. And just very briefly, some of the things that I've given you there is a copy of the notice regarding a summer camp where they invite, I believe, 9th and 10th graders to come to the summer camp to learn more about the career technical education process at Scarlet Oaks, Great Oaks, Diamond Oaks, Live Oaks. Just so everybody knows that that's going on. We did have 2 Winton Woods students that were in the spotlight information that I gave you, and those were, I believe, let's see, Jahari Muhammad in health technology, and she is on placement working at Mount Notre Dame right now as an NTA, and Janae Ellis, who was also one of our students who's working at Mount Notre Dame as an STNA. So, and then in addition to that, just some general information about the career technical education, what it is, and what it's about. So,
thank you, Mr. Birdie.
You are welcome.
Seeing as how we have no board motions or recommendations this evening, we will just move straight into comments. Mrs. Ruggles, any comments from you?
No comments at this time.
All right, Mrs. Goon.
I just want to invite the public and our families to the upcoming spring musical. It's this weekend. It's Little Princess, so it's always a great show every year. So I wanted to make sure that our community knew that. And then I also just I do appreciate the teachers a little bit ahead of time. I don't think you can tell teachers enough that we appreciate their hard work and their dedication. So a little early shout out to our teachers for their hard work.
Thank you, Mrs. Goon. Dr. Johnson?
I was going to mention about the spring musical for A Little Princess, so thank you, Paul, for bringing that up. Also, that Winton Woods Intermediate School is having their BOGO Scholastic Book Fair, so now until the end of the month. So those of you who want to increase your child's summer reading, get over there and buy some books, buy one, get one off, Also, the library will have their summer book sale coming up, so keep an eye out for that as well. Also, to remind everybody in the community that the superintendent's state of the school is coming up May the 3rd. So it's going to be at the high school in the media center. Okay? So you don't want to miss that, because he's going to give us an update on where we were, where we are, and where we're going. And we want to know that so that we can keep progressing to where our future and what we're doing. Also, I looked, there's a note out there for those parents students who did not take the ACT or who want to raise their score for the ACT. That's going to be May the 5th, the deadline to register for that. There's a lot going on in May, so just check out the calendar. There's academic signings, there's honors and recognitions going on for all of our students all over. We have the superintendent's honors event. There's a lot going on for the month of May, so just go out and look at our district calendar. Also, for parents not to forget to sign up for the summer school. We talked about it earlier in the meeting, but sometimes some of this stuff gets lost in the shuffle. So if you fast forward it to the end of this meeting, don't forget to sign up, especially those people who need credit recovery. You need to know in the 9th, 10th grade, get those credits earlier, the better, and so that you're not in the senior year scrambling around trying to figure out how to get them. Also, again, congratulations to our music department. They are putting us on the map along with some of the other wonderful things that we've had. The inauguration of the rowing, the inauguration of the lacrosse. I'm excited. I think we're all excited about what's going on here in the district, and we just want you to get excited with us, thanking all the teachers and the administrators for all the hard work that they've done for us. So.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Mr. Birdie?
Just to echo some of what Dr. Johnson says, the music program here, the NAM recognition, the band going down and playing opening day, those are fantastic things for the community and for the school district. Got to go to the dedication for the dock for the new crew team. That was a fun event. Well received. It's great seeing the fire chiefs here from all 3 communities. I mean, they were all here, so that's great to see their commitment to coming and joining us. And then to hear Dr. Ragland talk about the work that Coach C and Dr. Amstutz or Mr. Amstutz are doing with those classes is fantastic. And then some of the progress on the math scores. That's good news. Those are the kind of things we want to hear and we want to see and we want to talk about. And to Mrs. Ruggles' point, anything we can do to get the data to see, how we're doing, and that progress is important, and we appreciate all you guys do. And thank you, teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Birdie. To echo everything that was said up here at the dais tonight, I don't think we could thank teachers enough, like Mrs. Kuhn said. I'll never forget there was a day that I went to my daughter's second grade class to help out, and I looked at the clock and it was only 11, and I said, oh my God, I thought it was 4 by now. I don't know how our teachers do it, honestly. They are amazing. So if you know a teacher, see a teacher, thank a teacher, hug a teacher, they will greatly appreciate it, and we appreciate everything you do. And with that said, I don't believe we have any representatives from our unions tonight, so we will just move right into our motion for executive session. Anything from Superintendent or Treasurer Seymour before we do that?
No.
Okay.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session for matters involving employment matters.
I'll second that.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Seymour, would you call that vote?
Sure. Mrs. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Birdie?
Aye.
Dr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Kuhn?
Aye.
Mrs. Miranda?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, and we will now move into closed session. For our wonderful Waycross partner, there will be no further business this evening. Everyone have a good night.
I wanted to talk to you. You graduated in '96? So do you know Chandra?